You can do those in chat. You can do in the Q&A. We're pretty open in terms of which direction you want to go in. But let's get rolling. We are live everywhere. So this is Team Aloha. We have Lisa Weinsberger. We have, should I say Maria Cristina or should I say Christina?
Maria Cristina is nice.
Okay, Maria Cristina. We also have Susanna Childers, we have Kat Durand, and we have Mohammed, who's more popular than he thinks. And all of them are here together to basically give you a presentation on education and augmented reality, I believe it is. Is that the title of it officially? Okay. They've been working like close to a month on this now, all the way from first meeting as a team to what they've created today. I have not looked at it personally, so I cannot give you any kind of preview of what you are going to experience. All I know is that the Slack, like the rumors in the bushes on Slack and all the links I've seen, there's been a lot of exclamation points, a lot of emojis, a lot of like thumbs up. So what you're going to experience here is essentially from start to finish, what this team has worked on, ideated, concepted, and executed in terms of what they feel would be a really compelling approach to both education and AR and the combination of the both. Your host at this point will be Lisa Weinsberger, who will be taking you through the initial part of the presentation they have in Mural. And again, I would remind everyone now on YouTube and in Zoom, if you have any questions, I'll put those in the Q&A on YouTube. You can just put those in the comments and we're going to be good to go. So Lisa, whenever you're ready, you can go ahead and start sharing your screen and I will take a step back into my virtual background and kind of disappear a bit and let y'all take over.
Okay, thank you, Robert. Welcome and aloha, not cheesy at all. So we're Team Aloha, and we have been part of GVDS 5 and worked on, like Robert has already introduced, education and AR. The method we have used is a classic remote design sprint. And in this case, it was a 5-day design sprint, but we had one preparation week and then one user testing and iteration week after that. And without further ado, let's introduce ourselves. Susanna, do you want to start?
Sure. Hi, everybody. I'm Susanna Childers. On Team Aloha, served as the advisor. So that meant I did kind of like everyone on the team, whatever was necessary. I helped do some facilitation, design, and led some of the user testing research pieces. So it's a great team, and we're excited to show you what we've come up with. Represents a lot of hard work by everybody.
Absolutely. I'm Lisa Weinsberger. I acted as a facilitator in this design sprint, and I'm also in my professional life, I'm a remote innovation facilitator. I do design sprints and design thinking. And yeah, giving it up to Christina.
Hello, I'm Christina Murgoc. I'm a design thinking facilitator located in Bucharest, Romania. Thank you.
Mohammad.
Yeah. Sorry. Hello, this is Mohammad Shamandur. I work as a product manager. I'm currently living in Lebanon, and my role was like specialist and the research part in the design sprint. Yeah, and so excited for this showcase.
Hi everyone, my name is Kat Durand. I'm a product designer at a Hawaii-based tech startup, and on the side I design WordPress websites. I was the designer for the team, but it was definitely a tag team effort with Mohammed's animation magic.
Last but not least, Tanya, are you in the call? Is she there? Okay. Well, Tanya was the 6th member to our team, and she comes from a background as well as a facilitator and coach and trainer. And she has also done terrific research for this team. And yes, so we will present for the whole team what we have done. And yeah, so our big idea was education and AR. We have ideated a couple of topics together and decided in a common effort that we want to pursue education and AR. And our problem statement for this endeavor was teachers are searching for easy ways to create interactive and engaging online lessons for their students right now in this Corona crisis, even more so. As they are not tech savvy though, they need an easy to adopt, intuitive and user-friendly or off-the-shelf tool. So this was our problem framing, our problem statement. And our sprint journey looked like this. There's a nice little graphic that has been done initially by Sandy Lamb, who has done a lot of great templates, and I've adapted it. Hold on. Okay, here's our starting point. So basically, based on that problem frame, problem statement, we started off with two how might we. So our main target was how might we, I hope you can see this, I'm zooming in, give teachers easy access to put their knowledge into an AR format that students will love to engage with. That was the primary how might we question. And the secondary question was how might we make it very easy for teachers to bring AR, augmented reality, into the classroom. Our free sprint questions were, can we make sure our prototype is clear and steps are easy to follow by teachers? The second one, can we ensure teachers understand the benefits and how to get started in 3 simple steps? And the third one, can we get feedback from students who love using AR? So that was our journey in a nutshell. And oh yes, our long-term goal was very ambitious. And so we wrote or decided that a long-term goal would be that in 2 years' time, there would be fundamentals for public policy in augmented reality for education that will be shared within the Europe and also US and other continents based on the best practices from our project. So as you can see, we're not shy. And we went a couple of extra miles in this design sprint already, but of course we did not create the fundamentals globally basically for AR in education yet. So leading on to the next part, we have a winning idea. And our winning idea, we would like to present it. It's based on a solution sketch that Mohammad has created. And I would invite Mohammad to walk us through this quickly. Can you do that?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay.
Okay, so should I share my screen or like explaining from your screen? Okay, so maybe explaining from your screen. Okay, so basically the first step we come up with, like, we want to make this process as easy as possible for teachers. So we know teachers, they don't have the technical knowledge to handling with augmented reality, or they even didn't heard of it before. So the first step is basically by allowing them to choose from predefined shapes or AR object that was created by creators, by community we have. This is the basic idea. So the first step is basically they choose the object, and then they draw some kind of pattern. This pattern, it will trigger the selected object or the selected AR shape, and this will explain itself by the prototype in after a while. Okay, so after choosing the shape, the AR shape, they can embed an extra resources, maybe a YouTube video, a website, a text, an external photo, so whatever they can, what they do. Yeah, and the second step is actually triggering or testing this AR shape. And on the second step, on this step, actually, we change a bit with our prototype, because in this step we were like suggesting to use some kind of AI, artificial intelligence, to make the augmented reality smarter, so they can like some kind of shapes move on around the table, and they know their limits, so they wouldn't fall off. We have some idea of that, but we didn't implement it in the prototype. And the third step is basically where the student interact with the shape and see all the augmented reality and the resources that the teachers already provide.
Awesome, thank you. So as you can see, this idea has been very thorough and thought through by Mohammad from the beginning. So he really bit himself into the topic and researched. He's like an insane person, actually. It was really, I don't know when this guy sleeps. So we will, he did a lot of work. And also for our presentation, Mohammad and Kat worked together in creating these two beautiful videos that we would like to play and showcase now to you. to get the vibe of how we've been working together. And it was really fun and intense. So I hope this works now. Yep. The perks of doing lives.
So this is great.
That was an awesome video.
Yes, especially what YouTube does afterwards. Okay, so we have a second video where we would where Kat she has a beautiful voice, and she will guide us through the prototype step by step to make sure you understand it and you have the experience just like a user tester would. All right, so this is the second video that we have. And yep.
EasyTeach AR is a new product designed for incorporating AR, or augmented reality, into classroom lessons in 3 easy steps. No technical knowledge required. Our target audience for this app are teachers who teach students between the ages of 8 to 15. This app provides easy access to put teachers' knowledge and skills into an AR format that students will love to engage with as they learn. So let's get started. Step 1 is to choose an AR shape from our library. Whether it's a 3D representation of a building, animal, or plant, you can select a pre-made shape created by other teachers in our community. Step 2 is to draw or upload a pattern. When students point their device camera over the handwriting or uploaded pattern, this acts as a trigger to launch the AR environment on the student's device. No need to download an app. This brings the AR shape you've chosen in step 1 to life. And finally, step 3 is to embed an action. Add YouTube videos, links to websites, or photos as resources for students to make lessons more interactive. So let's go ahead and log in. So welcome, Jen. Jen is a teacher, and on this screen, she'll see the most popular shapes to use, followed by AR lessons created and shared by teachers in Easy Teach AR's community. These lessons feature a selected AR shape, as well as embedded resources like YouTube videos and links related to the lesson topic. For this prototype, we'll select the parrot shape and preview what that animation looks like. Previewing this shape will open Jen's camera on her device and she'll see it flying in the room. This looks good, so let's continue to step 2, which is to draw your pattern. Again, when students point their device camera over this pattern, it'll launch the parrot shape we just selected. So let's go ahead and write the word parrot as our trigger. And lastly, step 3 is to add embedded action to our parrot shape, like text, audio, videos, or website links. For this prototype, we'll just add a YouTube video. So the camera on Jen's device is on again, and we see the parrot shape in her room. We'll click anywhere on the screen to add a hotspot of where students can click to access and watch the YouTube video. Here's the automatically generated preview of the YouTube video we just embedded, and we'll go ahead and continue to see that a video was added. Let's finish this up and generate the lesson. Awesome. From here, we'll preview the AR lesson from the student's perspective by clicking on Preview AR. Remember the word parrot we wrote as a trigger to launch the AR experience? Well, students will use the camera on their devices and point it to the handwritten pattern, which you'll see here written on paper in their room. It'll launch info about the lesson. And here's that parrot shape, which will bring up the YouTube video. We'll go ahead and watch that video now. After watching the YouTube video, we'll go back to the app and share this link to the AR lesson with the class, which they can instantly access by writing the word parrot on a piece of paper and pointing their device camera to it. And that's Easy Teach AR, implementing AR into your classroom in just 3 easy steps.
All right. Back to the showcase. That was our little presentation. Thank you guys for putting in all that work, and I hope our concept is clear by that. Below, we still have a bunch of user testing insights, and I would invite Susanna to guide us through. So we have our free sprint questions. Christina, let go. Thank you. We have our free sprint questions here and different areas. So I'm just going to zoom in and try to share my screen if it's possible for you to explain to us a little bit more about the user testing insights. Susanna, like that?
Sure. Hi, everybody. So in our user testing, we used a little bit different approach due to kind of some time constraints, but we were focusing on the 3 sprint questions. Can we ensure our prototype is clear? The steps are easy to follow by facilitators. And to that, we answered yes. Our second question was, can we ensure teachers understand the benefits and how to get started in 3 simple steps? And that result also was a resounding yes. And the third question was, can we get feedback from students who love using AR? And to that we said, we're not sure. because we focused in our first round of user feedback on only teachers. So we haven't gone the next round yet to get student feedback yet, but teachers did indicate that they thought participation would be up from their students. So we didn't give it a no, we gave it a not sure. We used user feedback where we did some qualitative research using an online portal, and we had 6 users provide us input using a platform that I use in my work called DigSite, which allows people to opt in, and it takes them through a series. It allowed them to see the prototype by following a link straight. So they saw, without the narration, the prototype in beta form. And then they were able to give some general feedback and comments on that, and then go through each screen and provide feedback. So the little white boxes that Lisa zoomed in and out on show the screens, and they can actually go in and create a heat map on it where they show what they like and what they don't like, what's clear and not clear, and provide comments. So the one that Lisa's showing you now was towards the end of the screen when we've embedded the lesson. And that was one of the things we learned, was that they really liked that there could be the video as well as being able to embed the additional content. You can see the little green dots are showing where they actually were able to drag and drop the green, red, or gray dots in terms of what was clear and not clear, so that we could get their feedback specifically on the various screens that they were seeing. So we got a lot of great input showing that they really liked the idea. I think there's definitely work to do in terms of making it clearer so that they know what's what, so that they know how to use it exactly, so that they understand the pattern was, I think, probably one of the areas where we had the most learning, that they didn't really understand what using the pattern would do. I think one of the things we talked about was maybe changing that word to be the trigger, which we then used in the feedback. But overall, we did learn that there were really positive feedback overall on the concept. And while there was mixed results in terms of the teachers who said that they would use it or not, they were positively predisposed towards the prototype. We also, I think overall in our conversation and looking through the results, realized that to take this forward in the prototype, we would need to be even more specific rather than just broad range of teachers who teach ages 5 through 15. We want to be more specific on a narrower age range, so that the parrot example made sense. So it might be science teachers or general teachers, maybe for ages 8 through 10 or something. So being more focused as we develop the first rounds of content. So happy to answer any questions on that. And there's lots of insights, both positive, a few negatives, but not too many, and some other general kind of overall insights that we got, some pretty rich feedback from the 6 users. We had 3 teachers in Europe and 3 teachers in the US. So they represented a pretty good range for this first round.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Susanna. So that was basically our presentation of the solution sketch that led to the prototype with the user testing insights. And meanwhile, while we have done that, we had a lot of fun as a team. And that can be reflected actually in 2 ways. Let me show first a little bit of the screenshots we have made, all with our branded background. So we had a lot of fun. We really documented all parts of the journey. And here are some examples of what that looked like. Mohammad is looking like he's coming straight out of the Matrix. Maybe that's why he doesn't sleep. Yes. And so those are some impressions of how we worked together, how we felt, all smiles. And also, while creating all of those murals, I implemented the Moodle Meter, and I have done an evaluation shortly before our call now. And you can see here, so there are 5 different moods to choose from before and after a session. And I literally measured that emotion, the temperature of every team member anonymously before and after every session. And so you can see here, the numbers are the days of the design sprint. So if you take 5 days, then you can see how the mood basically went up among the team, the excitement before the session. And then even after the session, those are the blue things. So before the session is yellow and after is blue. And you can really see how much more aloha we actually felt throughout those sessions. Even after going through very intense 2 to 3 hour sessions online every single day. So that's really remarkable. And the other metric that I took was the excitement. So that one, the first one with the 5 emojis was a vote, anonymous vote.
And the second one was the excitement to start with a lesson or to finish this lesson and continue into the next lesson, or actually not lesson, a sprint session. And there you can see, and that's also really remarkable, how from day 1 through 5, before and after the sessions, our excitement was continuously going up. So this is something I've never seen in a team before, and I just wanted to highlight that. I'm really proud of this team, and this has really been one hell of one heaven of an experience. Let me put it like that. And here are some quotes. Some people have written a whole book, but maybe we can all go through our impressions here really quickly on what our highlights were from the sprint. And whoever wants to start, please give us one last impression of how that was for you guys from the team. Aloha. That's the moment where you speak up, guys. You're all muted. Come forward, please.
I'll go first. So I'm pretty new to UX design, and I've only read about design sprints. I'm very much a learn by doing person. So when I saw this opportunity to actually participate in one, I just took the chance. I'm just amazed at how we can leverage tech and especially Mural in creative ways to increase remote engagement. But I also lucked out with having such a great team, which made the experience even better.
Awesome. Who else?
This is Susanna. I can add a little bit. I just think that this team was a really great example of how people can come together and form a team very quickly when you have a common goal and we were all in it to support. So we got really clear up front. Not so much about the topic. We picked a topic that we could all get interested in, but it was much more about being clear about our roles. We had great facilitation and tag teaming of facilitation, tag teaming of design. So I think it was where everyone on the team just really stepped up to support each other because we were all committed to the goal. So I would highlight this, like as Lisa said, as a great example of how a team can work together, even when we don't know each other, we've never met. We look forward to meeting in person one day. We've got the road trip planned. So Robert booked those plane tickets. You offered that once before in another GVDS. So we're planning on a world tour to visit each other and see where everybody lives. So we're looking forward to that.
Thanks for the
So I have everybody's agenda. I just need to basically get updated trip plans, because I have a new kind of structure for getting everybody on their flight. So yeah, please do send them my way.
Perfect.
Yeah, and I really want to second Susanna. I mean, I was really surprised because the team, we worked together for the first time. We have a very different background, and we came up with like a very solid solution. The collaboration level was outstanding, actually. The support was amazing. I mean, this is an example of any successful journey for any product. I mean, if any product like it start always with this journey, with exploring with such a team and such like a collaboration environment, it would be awesome. And it would be like minimizing the risk. I already wrote about it because as a product manager, I know like how critical this was, and I want to thank everyone. Actually, I really enjoyed it. We got it, ladies.
Yes, and I want to mention that with this team and using the process, we didn't lose time on arguing or on conflicting beliefs. We went for the results, we went for the final objectives, and we trusted the process, we trusted ourselves, our team members. I had the honor to work with amazing professionals that put in so much work, effort, and dedication into this project. So this is why I consider it myself a heaven of collaboration. And of course that this team raised the bar so high for the teams in GVDS and also for the community of facilitators and for tech prototyping. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Christina. I can second every single one of you. I think we've been an amazing team, and also highlighting the fact that only Susanna and I have previously done at GVDS. All the other team members have been new and doing this for the very first time, and they went the extra mile and really excelled so much that there are many first-time members who have gotten even Best of the Best awards and Top 10 awards because their contributions were so great. And yes, I'm really thankful. And my favorite moment was that moment you could also see in the video when we tried this hedgehog out for the first time, and you could literally feel the reactions in that video, and it was just lovely. And that's just one of many moments. Yeah, and with that, I think everything has been said. We can also, you can see here also a little insight into what our murals looked like. I still copied that there because it's completely insane. Basically, we had 2 huge murals. And so that was day 1 and day 2 and everything we did. If I zoom in here, that was one exercise that actually came from Susanna's design thinking toolbox and knowledge. And I digitized that. So we collaborated on that together and revamped that one exercise. There was a lot of lightning demos, a lot of decision making, a lot of Moodle meters. And what's going on here? Now my computer is frozen. That's great. So that was, oh yeah. That was the board for day 3, 4, and 5, also massive. And you can see here solution sketches, the storyboarding, and finally the prototyping walkthrough and everything we've done. So thanks again. And that's it from our side. And we're ready to answer your questions.
Yes, and as a reminder, if you are on YouTube, post your comments there. If you have any questions and you're there as an attendee here in Zoom, go ahead and put those in the Q&A, or you can put them in chat. Either way, and the team will be able to answer them.
Yes.
We do have one from Justin Meritz, who's from Crema Design, somebody that I'm very familiar with, who also does remote design sprinting. His question to the team was, if you were to do a second design sprint next week, what would your can we be, in quotes? Can we? What would your can we be?
That's an interesting question. Ideas, anyone? Can we make this even faster? Can we make this even better or more clear? You know, but that's one of the iterations.
I think the next iteration should be for the student itself, because we focused on the teachers. So maybe next iteration to focus on how the student will absorb that and will handle it. So yeah, maybe a next iteration could be that.
I have a follow-up question also that could kind of color it. If you were to project out towards the end of 2020 into 2021, like at the end of the year, what would this look like for y'all? If you consider what the work you've done so far to date, and you were to see this thing maturing and evolving, what would it look like on December 31st, 2020, before going into 2021?
Let Christina take that. We actually have all the interim goals. I don't know if we can zoom in enough to see any of those on our mural boards, but we did map that out. And I would say, and Christina and Mohammed are considering continuing to work on this. So Christina, we're going to talk about the pitch deck.
It would be a valid objective to have this prototype as a minimum viable product, and also to launch it for use so that it can be tested in markets all over Europe and the US, and also to have some distribution of it among classrooms in Romania, because I'm from Romania, so I would like to test it in here, and to help in this way create more interaction and more digital content for teachers and the children in Romania. So it would be a valid objective from my side.
And basically the use of AR, I mean, our prototype, it's basically only scratch the surface of AR capabilities. So like basically maybe from the second sprint or a second iteration, from the feedback, we can like know our road exactly, or the roadmap of this product or servers or whatsoever. So yeah, and welcome, Tanya.
Hi, Tanya.
Tanya Mohammed.
Hi, thank you. I'm sorry for being so late.
Yeah, you're muted, Robert, but Tanya also have my name.
I was gonna say it's another Mohammed. There you go. It's just the fan mails just keeps on coming in. So maybe one thing, a good thing to know or to mention is that, so I'm renaming Tanya here. Part of the community of practice that we're starting up next month is going to have a continuation piece to it. So if there are teams from GVDS 5 that want to continue the conversation but need a placeholder of some type at the beginning of the month, the idea is this continuation bit of the community of practice would allow you to have a breakout room to basically go, okay, what do we have time to kind of work on or do in the month of December? So there's less of, let's throw out a doodle and see when we're available. This could be a point where 2 or 3 or 4 people can count on being in the same place at the same time to talk about next steps.
Sounds very
Emma,
good.
by the way, if you hear laughing, that's my son on YouTube, basically laughing at Vine videos. So that's just for reference. What were you going to say, Lisa?
I was just laughing at the president, laughing at Vines. Are there any more questions?
I do have one that I wrote while I was going through the presentation. This is for Susanna. You mentioned towards the end of your presentation that you were talking about the narrowing of an audience. Do you think you could have narrowed your audience earlier before you had done your design sprint, or do you think that you needed to go through this design sprint in order to be able to understand better to narrow that audience for the prototype that you did?
I think, I mean, yes, either. I think we didn't know what we were going to create. So as we started, we stayed a little bit broad in terms of talking about the teacher. As we created the prototype and got into coming up with a demo, it became clear, are we talking about buildings and history? Are we talking about science? And then as we did user feedback, teachers taught all different kinds of things, from younger children to young adults and technical things. So we just looked for teachers to get feedback broadly. So we didn't focus the teachers so much on fitting to the prototype. So we could have done it either way. I think that for this round of prototype, what we created and the feedback we got worked great, because we learned a lot, and it would definitely give us, quick feedback to iterate into something that could be more refined and more specific. So it wasn't critical that we either designed it for a specific age target. We learned a lot no matter with what we designed and with who we got feedback from, which is the purpose of a sprint, right? To get quick feedback and iterate and refine and keep improving. So.
Nope, exactly.
Yeah, not worrying too much about those details, creating something, getting feedback, learning, keeping it moving.
So Tanya, you came in, and I wanted to get your impressions of how the prototype went and how the work kind of evolved. What are your thoughts on how this virtual design sprint went?
Well, for me, it was a totally new experience, and we spoke a few days ago about it, among ourselves. I think for me, in retrospect, what had been helpful is to have a training just on the design sprint and how the different, the steps are, because I came out of the design thinking world and not a design sprint world, and there's a difference. So I'm recognizing there's this difference. What is happening in a very short period of time, in 5 different phases, is slightly different than if you have a little bit more time available and it. Also, there was very little time to process things. Things are moving so fast. The question about whether we didn't define an audience specific enough, or even that question, I'm not even, we went like this, and there was little time to process. It was driven by this fast movement, and I think there's a loss in it. Moving very fast can spur a lot of ideas and can stir up a lot of things, but also something can get lost. some nuances can get lost, or some ability to go back and ask questions because you don't want to hold up the process, and all of that. So
yeah, to people who are traditional to design thinking, and also to more dialogue-based kind of engagements where people are exchanging points of view and different perspectives on things. The sprint kind of hurries that up a bit, but does have particular points where there's a lot of discussion involved with the work and also with perspective. It just depends on when you do those. So it isn't at every stage. It's at certain parts where it makes a pause. It's like, okay, let's exchange points of view on, say, lightning demos, or with some of the solution sketches that everyone does. It is kind of compressed, but that's kind of the thing about the design sprint. It is different in that regard with design thinking. Then you go the extreme degree with pretotyping, then you just basically have a market hypothesis and you test it as fast and cheap as possible without much dialogue. So you have your spectrum in terms of engagement. So yeah, it's pretty familiar to me when you talk about like getting the kind of vetting out all the different perspectives that you can have on any particular dimension of the sprint. But that's kind of the nature of it, is that it tends to be fast paced and it has specific parts for dialogue, but most of the time it tends to be compressed a bit.
Again, I think that for people who are new to a design sprint, it might be helpful to have a pre-step, like a design sprint boot camp that just like walks you through everything more in detail, or kind of clarifies that framework before you are thrown into the experience. I'm doing next week one. I mean, it's funny. I'm doing next week a boot camp, just that I want to understand some pieces of it, that everything makes more sense. But if I had done it prior, or if it's something that you could offer from the Global Design Sprint as maybe even as a prerequisite for those who are new to it, before you join, this could be something of value.
Yeah, that's actually a couple of suggestions for that as well. So starting next month, I'll be doing a what is the Global Virtual Design Sprint, which part of it is going to be about explaining design sprints and how they work, and the other is how they basically function within a virtual environment. So it'll be that introduction that'll be live, it'll be recorded, and then it'll be Q&A as well, so that people are unfamiliar with it. That's going to run every month all the way up until the next event.
Okay, sounds amazing.
Okay.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I just want to narrow a bit for the design sprint for a specific in specialties or industry, which is the product management. I mean, we work together. We were not familiar with the AR, augmented reality, or the solution. We made a choice that we want to target this problem or this topic. So, and we got this result. So what if the design sprint is implemented in a very effective way, in such a way as inside the company, inside the product, it will align the department in extraordinary way, actually. We understand AR all together. We understand that we have a potential market for that, maybe. We need a more validation for this, but what if this process implemented within the company and always an iteration? It's an awesome process, and it will leverage any product or any company if they use this process again and again. So yeah, just want to mention that. Thank you very much.
Would also like to add something, if I may. So I come from a background of design thinking, as you know, Tanya, and of course there's a different pace, and the design sprint is very condensed and very fast. That's also why it's called a sprint. But if you look back at all the work that we have done, then imagine doing that in another format, or seeing what you achieve in, I think we had 3 weeks and 40 hours online together in total with our extra sessions, and think about with other formats what can be achieved. And actually all the documentation is there. You can trace back all the steps. So if you ever find that you get stuck in a rut or go the wrong direction, you can always trace back the steps, and redo some exercises. Of course, in our format, there was no time for that. And I know that for the first time it's intense, and my role as a facilitator, unfortunately, is also to look at the time and cut the conversations that otherwise might take the momentum away. So there's always a thin line for how fast you want to sprint, and on the other hand, how much you want to go deep into the topic and have conversation about it. So thank you for bringing that up. It's always very sensitive to find the sweet spot.
It's also going to vary from facilitator to facilitator. So Lisa has her particular mode. When I'm facilitating, I have mine. Susanna has hers as well. But they're all different styles based on like our experience as well as our approach. So it's a different variety. Jason Rood has his, Mamet Caracas, Sabrina Gorich. I mean, the list goes on. But it just depends on who you get involved with. Mohammed, I wanted to give you a bit that may help you in terms of product management. There's a podcast I did back in February. His name's Pierre Delamois. He's a senior manager of HR product development at Assurion. And I had an interview with him about how he implemented design sprints in his company. And the thing that stuck with me about the conversation is he used metrics. Like metrics was the major thing that kind of moved the conversation forward. And this is over a 1 to 2 year period, but they integrated that process into the HR department. And now they're at a point where they're at the table talking about high level strategy and where things can go in terms of implementing process. So all you have to do is, I can forward you the link later, but I think if you're looking for how this gets integrated into a business, then awesome. that could be one data point. And I know that, let me see if he's still on. Yeah, Justin Mertz is as somebody who posed a question before from Crema. I think he's somebody that I could connect you with on LinkedIn. He's somebody that I think has a lot of knowledge around how virtual sprints are done, but also how they can be implemented in an enterprise. So again, I'll make the introductions if need be, and we can see where those conversations go.
And
awesome.
Another point that we should mention is that our prototype and our work together as a team in 3 weeks and 40 hours that we had is a valid proof that virtual collaboration and the best use of technology and of Mural, of course, with facilitation and wonderful techniques really work. And this is the future of work, basically. So we are witnessing a valid proof that virtual design sprints are working.
What I would love to see also is some sort of experiment around how this would work in the market. So it's not to say that you're putting a period at the end of it, but just as kind of like a test at the moment of how people would react to what you do, and doing that kind of quick prototype around, okay, this would be like something that's offered as a service or a business or something else, and just to see where it would go. Or on the educator side, Christina, you mentioned about kind of interacting with educators in Romania. You don't have to necessarily sell to them, but talk to them about it. But there can be a dimension in the States here where if people are fishing around for AR education related solutions or are part of the industry, you can get their attention by kind of going down that route as well. But it's only when you and other people on the team feel comfortable kind of going down that route. If it's still in the kind of the exploratory phase, then you can wait for that.
Yes, it's a wonderful idea, Robert, and we will pursue it. Of course, we tested with teachers in Romania, with teachers in Austria, and with teachers in the US. So basically, we leveraged some insights so far, and we will continue this process.
Okay. Great. Any last commentary or observations from the team? Anything else you'd like to say before we wrap things up for the showcase?
I would like to share my screen just so I can give us some confetti, if that's all right with you.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, good. That's all. Keep talking. It's all right.
All right.
Here we go. Here's the confetti. Aloha. Thanks for being part of the sprint and part of the showcase.
Now, are we going to do one last screenshot for all of us in terms of like as a team? So at least it's like the final Aloha screenshot until the next time you all get together.
Oh no.
Well, I wouldn't say last. It's like the visual that's gonna be put into place before the next one comes up. So let's go ahead and I think I'm not going to, I would rather the team come up with their own ideas, but I think it may be a matter of just kind of doing something that you want to point to Aloha or you want to do something else. Whatever theme you'd like is totally up to you. You want to do this?
Where do we?
Hand signal? All right.
Yes.
I can only do one, so I can't do this or like this. All right. Are you ready? All right. 1 and a 2 and a 3. All right. We're good. Cool.
Cool.
So thank you very much, Team Aloha, for presenting today and all of your work. It's going to be up on YouTube. So if you want to point that to wherever someone wants to see it, they can. It should be up in about an hour. I'm going to reiterate some things I always tell teams at the end of a showcase is that be sure that you haven't done so already. And if you feel inclined to recommend each other on LinkedIn so that there's some sort of social proof around your work that was done here beyond the showcase awards. If you are a designer like Kat Duran, make sure that the integral parts of this are brought into your portfolio or something else where you can point to your work and kind of showcase what you were all about. And then finally, like I mentioned, the COP, do have kind of promote and put something on the web that involves like a story. If you're somebody that likes to write, then write a story about your experience. Those videos that you created would be perfect to put up there as like kind of an artifact of your time together. But really do codify and solidify historically what you've done with this entire time that you've been together, because it's going to be extremely important in the future when you want to point back to someone else and say, this is what I'm capable of, this is what I've done, this is like an example of how I've worked with diverse people internationally. It really does make a difference. And then if anyone inquires about this topic in the future and watches this video, you'll probably be hearing from me and saying like, look, I got an inquiry from President Obama, and he said he wants to know more about education in AR. He wants to talk to a couple of you. Is anybody available next week? So whatever that may come out to, those are the things I'd recommend and what you should look forward to. We good?
Excellent.
All right.
Thank you, Robert. Thank you, team.
Yeah, I just want to thank you, Robert, for this event. I mean, I just cannot imagine that this wasn't happened if were you like bringing this to the world. I mean, I'm really in depth for you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. I'm glad everything worked out for you. Definitely.
Thank you.
All right. Until next time, everyone, take care. Enjoy the rest of your week. Thank you very much for your work, Team Aloha. It looked fantastic. And we'll talk to you next time. All right.
Aloha.
See you, everybody.